I want to share a tool that I have on my tool belt that has provided such an invaluable amount of introspection and healing and clarity for me personally. And this tool is something that I like to call a self-counsel. Now, for those of you who are familiar with like IFS or parts work or even active imagination, this will be pretty familiar. But essentially, it is a ritual or a practice that I do when something is up or there's something that I want to gain clarity on, maybe that I'm having some internal conflict around, or something that I just want to integrate deeper. So the concept is basically that I have a conversation, a counsel with different parts of myself, and I allow them to speak what they're wanting to say, and I allow them to dialogue with each other. And there's a lot of different formats that I do this in. Usually, I will actually set up a space with different seats depending on how many parts I know are present and I want to speak with. And then I'll actually move between each of the spots when I speak from that part. And I'll sometimes speak from one part to another part. Sometimes my capital S self, which is kind of like my governing self, will be in charge of things. And sometimes I'll just kind of let things unfold and see what happens. Sometimes I'll go in with a really clear intention, and sometimes I'll just go in and let the parts start talking and see what unfolds. And I've found this to be such a useful tool for creating deeper self-authorship in myself, bringing in fragmented parts of me that are maybe in conflict. There's really no limit to what I will bring to these counsel sessions. Sometimes maybe I'm having some inner conflict around a certain connection or relationship, and I want to figure out what's going on there. Or maybe I've identified some parts of me that are having a rough time with another part of me, or having a rough time with the way that my life looks. Or maybe I've identified a trigger or a younger part of me that comes up in response to feeling dysregulated in a situation. And bringing that part into these counsel sessions and allowing them to speak to each other, to be heard, to have a voice, and to ultimately feel loved and received and heard has created such a large amount of healing for me personally around these parts. So I'm really curious if any of you have a similar practice, or if you've ever tried something similar, or if you decide that you want to try this. I'm so curious what you find out and what happens. I'd love to hear from you in the comments.